Jesse Cohen.
Hey, John, without addressing the results on the ice directly, I'm curious how you would evaluate the job that you and the rest of the coaching staff are doing so far this season. Are you seeing the lessons that you're trying to impart on the kids showing up in practice?
That's a complex question here, and I think it's very difficult to maybe say that when you're around it every day. Is growth being made? I would say that we're learning a lot of lessons about each other. I'd say that the players are showing signs of learning the pro game, and with every time that we show signs of learning the pro game, we also default back to habits which have been ingrained for a long time with some of these young players, and they keep rearing their ugly head, and it's to say that we're content or that we've achieved the answer that we're all looking for is no, and we're still searching, and we're still coming up with different themes for each day. And our mindset has always been try to get a degree better at the things that we're really good at, and try to improve a degree on things that we're not. And so that's just where we're going to keep chipping away at. And there's no shortage of lessons and items that we're going through, whether it be, today we talked primarily about the offensive zone line of scrimmage and on face-offs, and making sure that we are impactful in the playing behind the opposition game, which we weren't. We didn't start the game on time yesterday. Today we actually started very well and played that game, and we're right there in a swinging match with Bakersfield, a really good team, into the second period. And then of course just a little blip there. We had the open net on a dump in off a rim there on a face off, and we hit the post on an open net with two whacks at it. And then again, the danger zones, the turnover areas of the blue lines and the red lines continue to haunt us and end up in the back of our net.
How do you feel? We spoke before the season started about the leadership group and the importance of having younger players on it. Some of those players have been recalled to the Kings, but how do you feel the leadership group is responding to the challenges of this season?
They're outstanding on the bench. I give those guys, it's a tough spot for them to be in, and they're doing everything they possibly can to bring the young guys along. And it's obviously very difficult for a lot of the older guys too, because they took so much time off, and some of them on American League deals, not being able to go to training camps and things like that. So their seasons getting their legs underneath them has been difficult at times, I think, but their attitudes have been tremendous, and we're lucky to have them.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
All right, next up is John Hoven.
Aiden Dudas was a scratch yesterday. He drew back in today. Just did you like what you saw from him at all today?
Yeah. I think if you watch that game on the film or on TV or whatever, I think that he impacted the game. It showed the Aiden that we need him to be. He was good on the penalty kill, solid on his draws, and had a couple really good chances. I liked his method. When we talk about playing behind with these young guys, we don't want them to play dump and chase hockey. Even though it did show quite often tonight that we were dumping it on the goaltender. That's not the aim. We're trying to place pucks when we do have to play behind the opponent. And of course, with a team like Bakersfield with 6'7", 6'6", and 6'4", 6'3" defensemen, we're gonna have to place. And I really liked his playing the second period to Elias Anderson for a backhand and kind of on the opposite side of the rink, and he placed it behind, and it springs Elias for a little short ice breakaway, and then he and Marcus Phillips connected there in the third period for a passing play on an entry, which that's what we're looking for from Aiden, to be kind of a fly in the other team's ointment. He's going to be annoying, pestful type of player. And I thought that he was just a little bit, he lost a little of that action and needed just a quick reset button. We love Aiden, and can't wait to get him back in the lineup again next weekend.
Up until now, there's really been a lot of line changing. Part of it's due to just roster movement and guys going up and guys going down. But do you make anything about chemistry at all? About that perhaps if these guys were able to settle in a little bit more, that might help in some ways?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting thought, and I would like to think that our system for the most part is based on interchangeable parts, where there should be a predictability factor to being able to slide players in and out, whether that's our line rush mechanism, our thoughts, and what we're trying to implement there, or our offensive zone, and of course our defensive zone is reliant there on a seal system, and so we would like the players to be able to go and maybe jump around and have that interchangeability, have that adaptability. Anytime you get some rapport on the bench, that helps. But having some fresh blood too is a good thing from time to time as well. So we're sorting through what's possible, and we certainly, with the fluctuation of our roster, it's very difficult to try to establish chemistry or leave guys alone. And we also are trying to, give guys different chances in different spots too. So there's a bit of a method to why you're seeing a lot of different combinations, and we're at the liberty sometimes of playing 11 forwards, or even having a defenseman up there playing forward last week in San Jose. So we're sorting through some things, and hopefully a little bit of roster clarity will go a long way here. But it's so tough to tell when we're going to have that.
Are you to the point yet with this group where guys are giving you feedback about what's working or what's not working, or are we still too early in the process? And these are young, inexperienced players, and they're a little more guarded, and they sort of just keep their mouth shut.
Yeah, the young guys are still trying to sort through I think that for them to offer up suggestions on what we need to be doing would be premature for them, because they're trying to just keep their head above water. Most of them can't get through a full 60 of consistency. Their engines run out. You can see them, whether it's they run out for 10 minutes in the second period, or they don't start on time and then they find it late. We have very few players out there that are capable of getting through a 60-minute effort. And so we're in practice. That's a massive focus, is to build their engines, lots of up and down drills to try to build that team speed. It's a big reason why we sacrifice a little bit on the line rush. We get outskated, and we don't get a lot on the line rush because we don't pull away from teams. So we're trying to get those guys going, get their engines built up. But as far as input on the systems and things like that, we do rely a little bit on the captains and the older players for their input, and to see where there might be holes or question marks.
And just one more quickly, John, if you don't mind, any update at all about the Tyler Madden situation?
Yeah, it's an upper body, and we don't have a full diagnosis yet, but he won't be back this week.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
And last questions here from Jack Jablonski.
Hey, Coach. You've talked about the theme of moving pieces this year. One of those guys would be Elias Anderson. What have you thought of his game since he's come down to Ontario?
Well, it's interesting. I thought that he started off really strongly the other night, and then I think that he's given us a consistent effort, and you can see his tenaciousness. There was a forecheck today where he didn't have a very good opportunity to win. It was a one-on-one forecheck in the second period, and he ends up hunting the guy down, and that said player loses his stick, and Elias wins us that shift. And that's the kind of impact that he can have. So he's multifaceted. The way we see him is that he's good enough for sure at this level to skate people down and to be a hunter, but he's got enough skill to be able to convert. He makes good plays on the power play, good decisions. He's got a heavy shot, and he's a good playmaker, solid on the dot. So kind of that all around type of player that we're looking to turn more guys into that. And he's a great example of what we want guys to be. And I'm hoping that he continues to take steps and make another push up top.
And then on the defensive end, it seems like the guys kind of lost their way a little bit throughout the game. What are the areas where you want to see improvement?
Well, there's quite a few. First off, with our puck touches, they need to be cleaner. That being said, the direction of keeping it simple through the neutral zone, where we want to get that puck cracking, we want to get it east-west and start thinking about going north to try to advance pucks behind the opposition. That opens up our D zone or our O zone and breaks down their D zone. So we need to keep it simple through the neutral zone. And the last item I have with our D is the gap control. Just needs to continue to improve. They too often at the first sign of a fight, we flight back to our net. So it's we need to hold our gaps better and be a better line rush against team as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Yep. Thanks, Jack.
All right, thank you. That's it for today.
Thanks, guys.